Greetings, everybody. It's RPG Grandma. So, what do I got going on here? Well, I've got a yellow Martian. He's got the two curved sorty things in his hand there. I've got a white Martian. He's in the white robe. I've got a black Martian. He's kind of outlined in purple over there. I've got two red Martians, a girl and a guy. And I have what could be a white Martian or it could be an Earthling. Could be John Carter for all we know. At any rate, and the monster I printed out myself, but the others are hand drawn with Sharpie and some colored ink pens. Now, these aren't very big minis. I made them out of scrap stuff I had, uh, and I just sketched them out real quick. Made them all the same size. They're basically used 2 inches of cardstock. And let's see, I think one's made out of a Reese's Pieces Buttercup backing, and the others are out of some cardstock that was scrap that I had handy. My point is, you don't have to go broke. You can make stuff on the fly real quick. The art doesn't have to be spectacular. It just has to get the job done. People even like stick figures. I mean, whatever gets it done. You can use even little discs. You can use things from other games. You can use kids' toys. You do not have to go broke if you want a visual aid. You can designate the salt shaker as something on the game table. You can, for red sand, you can use tablecloths. For the water, you can use cut out pieces of felt. You do not have to go broke. You can totally, think back to when you were a little kid in elementary school making stuff, and that's fine. You don't have to have everything look like you are Rembrandt in the crafting community, and with your painting of minis or your designing of materials, buildings, whatever. Sometimes it's just about getting the job done. So if people need the visual, you can put the visual out there. Now, I know theater of mind, very big right now. There's always been theater of the mind, because I remember when we didn't have minis at all when I was a kid, and it was a big deal when you could finally afford, you saved up to afford to buy that one mini you wanted, or even, wow, you really saved up and you got a box of something, okay? That was those metal figurines. But I'm going to tell you right now, in a lot of cases, minis went unpainted back then, just like they go unpainted now. Or that, hey, we weren't best at painting that. And you go find that old miniature and you're like, whoa, this poor guy needs help. Or they didn't really get used. They just kind of sat there in front of people's player character sheets. So they were more of the character. They'd only get used once in a while when it was like something that the DM felt needed more clarification, or the players felt that needed more clarification. They weren't, I don't remember us ever using them like I'm seeing them used, mostly on YouTube and stuff. I just don't. Or in, when I watch like a virtual tabletop game or something, when they're moving the little icons around. I know that 4E was really big on the grid thing, but I didn't really play for E. I just kind of got the stuff for free, which is cool. I've been reading it off and on, so it was more board gamey, because probably they wanted the VTT at the time, and yeah. So it really depends on your style of play. Now, if you're doing an army, obviously you're going to need a lot of pieces. You're going to need some way to visually designate your army and declare your troops and remove casualties, or to mark casualties in the unit. You need some way to do that for the game to be fair, because you're doing the mass battles. So have to sit down and come up with options that work, that don't break everyone's piggy bank. Um, there is a reason I don't play one game because I just can't afford it. By one game company. I love the figurines, don't get me wrong. Uh, but I've watched how they do things, and I'm like, yeah, I'd be the one who shows up with the paper army. And since I'm not allowed to do that, I'm not coming. So there you go. Um, so that I believe in wargaming where we agree on the scale and how things should be on the stands and stuff like that. But I can build my armies with anybody's products if I want to. As long as, I can tell, everyone can tell what they're supposed to be. If they're supposed to be the U.S. Cavalry, they should look like the U.S. Cavalry from that time period. Nobody should care um, which company you bought your little army guys from, only that they're in the right scale and on the stands properly according to the game rules. That's my opinion. Nobody should care if they're made out of paper or plastic or metal or wood, as long as we're all in agreement on scale and all in agreement how the stands are done, you know. Um, but that's me. I like to play and have fun and encourage other people to play and have fun, not gatekeep people into specific brands. I just don't think that's cool, and I think it kills the joy. And then nobody can kit bash anything and make something cool and go like, okay, I know this weapon existed in this time period, and build it to scale and stuff, and so it can be on the field, and obviously they talk to their judges and referees first, but you know who doesn't want to have that creativity even in a historical wargaming setting, let alone in a fantasy wargaming setting with, Martian airships and, you know, Flash Gordon like planets and, you know, alien spaceships and things. I mean, come on. You should be able to to do fun things. Is what I'm getting at. And be creative. But you can use all kinds of things, guys. Game pieces, um, uh, toys. Believe me, I'm going to be haunting Goodwill stores soon and other thrift stores looking for little ships, little toys I can turn into things for Mars. Um, might even make a red rainbow arch of doom for try to make it look like sandstone or something, red sandstone. But um, this is what I'm getting at is you and everybody else should have the freedom to use tools in whatever scale is most appropriate for your guys' size of your gaming table that everybody agrees to, that kind of thing, or not, depending on how you guys play. But whatever you do, have fun with the war gaming and the role playing gaming and the skirmishes and the descriptions and the rules. Just have fun with it. Don't let don't don't think because something's relatively primitive, it's no good. It's good if everybody's having fun. That's really all that matters. Anyway, everybody have a great day. Talk to y'all later. Bye.